I sent an email to my list using Kit. We started to see some real movement, and the book made it to #2 on all cookbooks on Amazon and pretty high up on the all books list. I have always loved cooking. I taught myself how to cook as a teenager. I would watch the Food Network for hours and hours. I would spend my weekends at Barnes & Noble's reading cookbooks. So I knew as soon as I started working in food that it was such a natural fit and that it was the thing that really made me feel alive. And while I don't necessarily cook for others as a creator, I do create recipes that other people get to enjoy in their homes, and that brings me so much joy. I started my business back in 2016, but very, very casually. I started posting the food I was making to Instagram as a creative hobby when I desperately needed some creativity in my life. I was pretty miserable as a lawyer and waking up anxious and with dread every single morning. I never intended for it to be a business or even a job, but it started to take off, and I thought, maybe I can turn this growing hobby into some sort of job. I was just side hustling for about 2.5 years until I decided to go full-time with my own business, and that was almost 5 years ago. We were struggling to build our email list. We had some success here and there, but it was never really regular. It was kind of sporadic. And even when we did add subscribers to our newsletter, we weren't really giving them the best experience. Instead of having a tailored welcome series, we were just sending them whatever email I had that week that every subscriber was getting. So they were just kind of thrown into the middle of it. When we started using Kit in about January 2021, we found it was so much easier to create opt-in forms and lead magnets, but then also to give the new subscribers a tailored experience. So they would get a really robust welcome series where they got to know me and the kind of recipes I share. And we shared a lot of the super popular recipes that often turn people from subscribers into actual fans. Additionally, we would get new subscribers who would come to specific recipes on our site, like let's say an Instant Pot recipe, and we knew that those specific people wanted more Instant Pot recipes. So instead of bothering them with all the other stuff, we would just start sending them tailored Instant Pot recipes and doing a specific sequence that way. And it was really easy to do that in Kit, so it worked out very well. Whenever I create a YouTube video, I try to create a high quality written content piece to go alongside it. So I recently did a video on different methods for cooking tofu, and instead of just having all of the information live in a video and requiring the user to pause at different timestamps to take notes, we created a really high quality written PDF guide. So we're able to get people to come to our email list by providing really high quality content that people might pay for, but we give away for free as long as they sign up for our email list. Using these lead magnets has been incredible for our business. I think since we started doing this, we've quadrupled our mailing list by, 100,000 subscribers, so pretty substantial. Now that we have a robust subscriber list of people who are interested in opening our emails, it really drives traffic to our website as well, so we make money that way. It's really nice to have this source of revenue that's directly about the content I create. It's not dependent on an algorithm surfacing my content. That's enabled me to create a sustainable business in a way that feels really good to me. Last year, I took a 4 or 5 month break from Instagram, but I was able to still have my business do well. And in fact, my traffic go up during that time. And part of that was because we had this robust email list of folks regularly going to our blog and making the recipes, even if I wasn't on social media. We've started experimenting with paid digital products that we're able to market to our newsletter subscribers directly. And that has definitely been a bit of a game changer in terms of our revenue. It's called Meal Plans by Rainbow Plant Life, and that tackles a lot of those pain points with creating weeknight meals and all of the things that go into it, from the grocery list making to figuring out what to cook in the first place to figuring out what to prep ahead of time while still delivering really high quality, delicious vegan meals. And yeah, it's been very successful, and it's been really nice to have a revenue source that's not tied to ads or to sponsorships. So we first announced that we were going to launch the meal plan subscription through a YouTube video, and we then had people sign up if they were interested. And so we were able to create this segmented list of folks who specifically expressed interest in being notified. And in that way, I was able to target the people who said, yes, I'm interested, and it not feel salesy. And with my general email list, I didn't have to ask them to buy things. So I was still able to preserve that trust with them because I wasn't constantly bothering them buy my product, buy my product. About 6 months before it came out, I announced it on Instagram, and that had a nice little bump in terms of the pre-order numbers. But it wasn't until I sent an email to my list using Kit when we started to see some real movement. The book made it to number 2 on all cookbooks on Amazon and pretty high up on the all books list, which has never really been that important to me, but to see that our newsletter was able to drive that kind of success for the cookbook was pretty impressive. I think 15-year-old Nisha would be floored that this is a job, that this is a career that pays the bill, like coming up with recipes and cooking and making videos. She would be really surprised and delighted by that. I think 15-year-old Nisha was also someone who knew that she wanted to be a businesswoman. I had to do a project in my Spanish class about what our dream life looked like, kind of like a vision board, but in Spanish, and mine said mujer de carrera, like career woman. And so I think 15-year-old Nisha would be pretty pleased that I am in fact a career woman.